Yo, Elliot! Hey, we got a question from one of our buddies who just began foam rolling. It's a very good idea. You may have heard me describe it in many of my videos. In particular, my vlog I mentioned the other day that I'll be spending a lot more time foam rolling. Here's a big mistake. Here's his problem first, is that it fucking hurts. Yeah, he's like, when I lay on the foam roller, I'm in excruciating pain, and it feels like, you know, like the foam roller is just beating the crap out of his body, out of his legs. Like it shouldn't feel that way. Such pain. You're doing it right. It's not so, if it feels good, you're either doing it wrong or you just happen to be really low tone. You know, in other words, you've been doing it long enough that you figured out how to reduce the tone in that muscle so that it rolls smoothly. But you'll always have to be doing this. You know, if you're strength training or you're an athlete in any way, shape, or form, you have to get some sort of tissue work done. You either need to go to a neuromuscular therapist, massage therapist, or you got to do it yourself, right? And not everybody has the time and the money to go to therapists all the time, you know? Something that should be done almost on a daily basis. But here's the experience that he's having, that he's rolling his muscles, right? You know, we'll do it on my arm since you guys can only see my arm. And he's in excruciating pain. Here's what you need to do, and you'll see this as I film more of my videos doing it myself. A lot of people, when they foam roll, they do it very quickly and they're going up and down, roll, roll, roll. All the while, their muscular system, because of the pain, is resisting against the foam roller. So there's a fight. And in that fight, there's greater pain. The force of the foam roller up against your tissue, and then your nervous system's response to the pain, both fight against each other, and it just gets worse. Not only does it always hurt, like he said, after the 5th or 6th time, he's wondering why does it still hurt? It's always going to hurt, but you're never going to get the soft tissue release that you're trying to get by always fighting against the foam roller. So what you've got to do is, once you find a spot, and you know, like for example, like my quads, I've got certain parts of it that come from the hip all the way down to the knee. And I know exactly where that entire muscle is that's hot, that's really a painful muscle. Instead of just rolling up and down that muscle and feeling the pain and resisting the pain and then always having to deal with that frustration, what you gotta do is you gotta start at the top of that muscle, whatever muscle it is, or area of your body. You know, everybody should have an anatomy book. If you're watching these videos and you're into fitness, you're into bodybuilding, strength training, you should have an anatomy book. Or, you know, I think there are websites, but you should know your anatomy. And you start at the top of that muscle and you just stay there. You let the foam roller rest right on that spot. You'll notice right away, because you're not moving so erratically and you're not in pain and just like fighting, you'll notice right away that there's a resistance in the muscle against the foam roller. You've got to literally stay there and breathe. And almost like go to a meditative spot where you remove because it's really, you're doing it, you're holding on that muscle. And what you're gonna experience when you do that, when you relax, you breathe and you just stay in that one spot, is the muscle is first like this, you're killing me, this shit hurts. And then as you start to breathe and start to meditate, it starts to, it softens. It starts softening because you're not fighting against the foam roller anymore. You're not doing foam rolling, you're allowing foam rolling. Does that make sense? So go back, do it again. It's a great idea, do it again. But instead of quickly trying to get it done and rolling up and down and then being so unaware of what's happening in your body that you're fighting, I want you to take your time. If foam rolling takes an hour, let it take an hour. And allow the pressure on the tissue, stay there, and almost like you're seducing the muscle. I'd say go to sleep, basically. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. I pretend I'm making the muscle go to sleep. Shh. When you're trying to make something go to sleep, what do? Go to sleep! No. You want something to go to sleep, somebody or something to go to sleep, you go, shh, easy. relaxed. And the muscle, they're literally pissed off. It's gonna go from angry to, all right, I could chill. Now you're getting the benefit of the myofascial release. Good luck.
Yo, Elliot,